For this recipe, you will need an oven, a stand mixer, 2 9-inch round baking pans, a sieve, a roll of parchment paper, a pair of scissors, a writing utensil, a roll of paper towels, about 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil, about half a cup of all-purpose flour, a baking spatula, a liquid measuring cup, a set of measuring cups, a set of measuring spoons, a soup spoon, a butter knife, a kitchen scale, a toothpick, and a cooking thermometer. If you have a scale, you do not need the measuring cups, measuring spoons, and soup spoon. If you have a cooking thermometer, you do not need the toothpick. Start by preheating the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Trace the bottom of each baking pan onto some parchment paper, then cut out the outline. Add a little bit of vegetable oil to a folded paper towel and spread the oil across the inside of each pan. Place the circles of parchment paper inside the oiled pans and apply more oil to the inside edges. Sprinkle a little bit of flour into both pans and tap the sides while spinning the pans so that the flour spreads out evenly. The best way to measure ingredients is with a scale. If you do not have a scale, loosen the dry ingredients. Then scoop them into a measuring cup with a soup spoon until the measuring cup is overflowing. For ingredients that require a measuring spoon, scoop using the measuring spoon after loosening. Then, use the flat edge of a butter knife to level the measuring cup or measuring spoon. The dry ingredients we'll be using are 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 3/4 of a cup of cocoa powder, 2 cups of sugar, 1½ teaspoons of baking powder and baking soda, and 1 teaspoon of salt. When adding these ingredients, scoop them through a sieve to sift them. The liquid ingredients we'll be using are 1 cup of boiling water, half a cup of vegetable oil, 1 cup of milk, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and 2 large fresh eggs. In a mixing bowl, add the vanilla extract, milk, eggs, and oil. We do not add the oil at this point, but it can be added later without any issues. Run the mixer on a low speed setting for 30 seconds, or until the egg yolks are broken and mixed throughout. Keep your body clear from the mixer while in use. Stop the mixer and add about half of the dry ingredients to the bowl. Run the mixer for about 10 seconds on a low speed setting, then stop it and add the rest of the dry ingredients. Start boiling the water. Run the mixer for 2 minutes on a medium speed setting. Change the mixing to a low speed setting and, without stopping the mixer, add the boiling water to the mixing bowl. Run for about 30 seconds. Stop the mixer and check that the batter is a uniform consistency throughout, and that none of it sticks to the mixing bowl. If this is not the case, mix until it is. After stopping the mixer, pour the batter evenly into both cake pans. Use a spatula to remove all of the batter from the bowl. Each pan should not be filled more than halfway. Make sure that both cake pans have roughly the same amount of cake batter. Add both cake pans to the middle rack of the oven and bake for 30 minutes. Now is an excellent time to begin making the icing. Check the description for a timestamp for the icing instructions. Using oven mitts, carefully take the cake parts out of the oven. Insert a cooking thermometer into both cake parts and make sure that they read at least 210 degrees Fahrenheit. If you do not have a cooking thermometer, test that a toothpick comes out clean by inserting and then removing a toothpick from the sides and center of each cake part. The toothpick is clean if none of the cake sticks to the toothpick. If either of these conditions are met, the cake is done. If not, put the layers back into the oven until these conditions are met. Use a butter knife to separate the sides of each cake part from the cake pans. Place a plate over each cake pan, then flip both upside down and shake until each part is released. Remove the parchment paper from each layer. For the icing, we'll be using 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, some milk as needed, 4 sticks of soft unsalted butter, and 2 pounds of powdered sugar. Add the butter to an empty, clean mixing bowl. Add the vanilla extract to the mixing bowl and then run the mixer on a high speed setting for about 20 seconds. Stop the mixer and remove the mixture from the sides of the bowl with a spatula. Start mixing again and repeat the start and stop cycle until the mixture is fluffy and pale in color. Notice the difference in color between the mixture and a stick of butter. Make sure the mixer is stopped and add about 1/3 of the sugar to the mixing bowl. Start the mixer again on a high speed setting. Repeat the entire process of stopping and starting the mixer and adding sugar until all of the sugar has been added and the icing is uniformly mixed. The icing will be stiff, which is ideal for piping decorations or filling between cake layers. Add milk in order to thin the icing. Start mixing again on a high speed setting until the icing's texture is even throughout. Frosting the outside of a cake is easier with thinner icing. Cover the top of one of the cake layers with icing. Then add the second layer on top. Cover the entire cake with icing. Ensure that the icing covering is smooth. Decorate the rest of the cake to your desire and enjoy. Here's a time-lapsed example of how we chose to decorate the cake. And here's the finished result. Technical Manual by Victoria Castillo, Logan Decker, Devon Dotson, Tiffany Nelson, and Nathan Reynolds. Special acknowledgments for Alexander Benson and Tadeo Herrera. Music used was Patience by Jay Someday.